All right, welcome to Non-Stuffy Attorneys Podcast. Today, I'm joined with Chris Dreyer from Rankings.io. He is the CEO and founder. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. I guess why don't we start out, if you don't mind, just telling the audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and kind of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so look, I got a history education degree. I got a job at a high school. I was a JV basketball coach, and I started doing digital marketing on the side. By the end of my second year teaching and coaching, I was doing 4 times the revenue doing that than I was teaching. So that kind of started me on a path, did some affiliate marketing, did some consultative stuff, and then launched my agency in 2013, rankings.io. And so I've just been doing digital marketing for almost 2 decades now. And yeah, we help personal injury attorneys. That's our main ICP, the main area of the law. It's where 90% of our clientele base is. But we work with employment law firms, family law firms, and we do primarily performance marketing.
What's performance marketing? What do you mean by that?
I say, more bottom of the funnel intent based stuff. So, Google Ads, LSA, search, GEO, the emerging search landscape. We do creative, we do some social media, but those are smaller parts of the business. Even the creative side is more to facilitate search visibility and conversions, less on, brand, although we are starting to expand into brand and copywriting and things like that.
Yeah. I just did a podcast with a guy yesterday who's very heavily focused on branding. And that's something that our law firm hasn't done enough of. I think we have a pretty good brand. We spend a shit ton on marketing. We're spending 60, 70 grand a month on Google Ads. So our name's definitely getting out there, but nothing real focused on it.
Nothing cheap in the legal space. That's for sure in advertising.
Yeah. So how did you get, when you first started, were you just doing kind of any industry?
When I first started, I took a course, Ed Dale's 30-day challenge, and I had like 80 affiliate sites. My biggest site was loseadoublechin.com. I ranked #1 for double chin for like 5 years, like a sub niche of weight loss. And then I had a Sting Concrete floors niche that was making good money. Each of these were making $3,000-$4,000 a month. The funny thing is, I haven't told this story for a while. My president, Stephen Willie, he had been working with me for about 2 years, and he's like a DIY guy. He do it. He's like, I'm getting ready to stain my concrete in my basement, blah, 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 blah. And he was reading this article. He sat next to me, and he gets to the bottom, and it was one of my affiliate articles. And it just stopped the whole day. His mind was like blown, but it was a funny moment between him and I.
Oh, that's great. So what got you specifically into niching down into law?
Yeah, good question. So I worked at this agency called Power Advocates. I was their top guy. And that was the main agency that I worked with that worked in legal. And I did everything. I was an account manager. I was the technician, the Google Ads person, did it all. And it just got to the point where, first of all, I loved working with attorneys. I always like, oh, you're working with attorneys. Like, they're good people for the most part. Like, sure, there's individuals that you run into that aren't, but by and large, I enjoy who I work with. And if I'm also being honest too, it's like there's a status component, like, hey, I'm doing marketing for lawyers as opposed to another industry. So I like to associate myself. Obviously, I don't have a law degree, but it felt good helping, professionals in their career.
Yeah, I sold marketing for a little while. It was mostly direct mail, but they did digital also, but they did every industry. And dude, it's fucking rough sometimes, right? Like some people who are like, yeah, I want to do this big marketing campaign. It's like, okay, what's your budget? I can do about $250 a month. It's like, and then they get, they do these small ass campaigns, get furious when it doesn't work. It's like, yeah, it's kind of with lawyers though, we don't really get that too much.
Yeah. There's one thing I've been thinking about. I was talking to Sam Pond from Pond La Hockey recently. It just was in the last week or two. In the agency space, we got to think about, what are we going to charge for our offer? Is it going to be capacity? Is it going to be monthly? Is it going to be, hourly, retainer, like all these different things? And I think, for the personal injury attorneys that I work with, like they already have product market fit. It's a contingency based offer. They don't have to put any mind energy there, where I'm like 13 years in or however many years in. And it's like, for the age, like I constantly have to evolve my offer. And it's like, so I think that's kind of one of the things that's now there's terrible on the cash flow and things like that. But I thought that that's a unique advantage. Well, now I can just think about my brand and marketing and how I can be different to stand out to the consumer.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So our law firm, we do elder law, estate planning, probate, get people approved for Medicaid, that type of stuff. I want to get us into family law. That's like our next practice area. And then my wife is against it, but I want to get us into personal injury too. Yeah, she feels like an ambulance chaser, but that's just bullshit. Yeah, the sales process is just so different for PI than it is for a firm like us. Like we have to really train our sales reps, our intake and our sales reps to they have to be closers. They have to be closers. Yeah. And I guess you kind of have to too in PI to a degree, but it's more like do
they fit the criteria?
Yeah, it's like, do they fit the criteria? And then can you get them to believe that you're going to do the best for their case, right? Are you going to get them the most? It's not like, okay, give me 10 G's right now on your credit card.
Right. The upfront. Yeah, that's a whole different level of trust that you have to have on the front end.
Yeah,
so that's definitely a unique component. I would say we've done some probate, some estate planning, but not as much. But yeah, definitely familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, our marketing company, we don't have a lot of PI attorneys. We have some for non-stuffy attorneys. We have some primarily, right, because I got the background. My partner has the background in estate planning. So we really started out like getting attorney clients there. Did you start out right away kind of like searching out for PI attorneys?
No, what happened for me, my main channel in the very beginning was LinkedIn, and I just started working with a few PI attorneys. I went to a couple small masterminds, like 15 people in the room style, and started working with them. But then once I did start advertising, I think like 5 or 6 years, I noticed that like 80% of my revenue was personal injury. And I'm like, well, let's lean into this because that's the majority of my book of business. And so then it's like, we update our messaging, like then we're going to the events that they're at. And then next thing you know, that 80% turns into 95%. And then it's like, well, do you even help the other areas of law? And that's a constant debate of pros and cons there, but that I've had forever. But yeah, that's kind of how it evolved.
Yeah. What's so PI is not like the easiest or cheapest market to be in, right? I mean, for like estate planning attorneys, man, we're getting qualified leads for anywhere from like 40 to $80 per like qualified lead, like actually reaching out, it's like cheap as shit.
Yeah.
You're not seeing that in PI, right?
No, not for auto. I mean, maybe not for auto. No, I was just talking literally today with Dan Morgan from Morgan & Morgan, literally today. And I was like, what's the CAC across the nation for an auto case? It's like, well, if you can get it for under $3K, that's pretty good. And it's like, that would be exceptional in California or Florida. I mean, they're not getting them for under 3K. And so and now that all this consolidation is happening, so then, the supply that's getting ate up. So it's driving up the cost and the PE money. It's pretty wild. It's an interesting space, but can I kind of riff on this a little bit? I, for the longest time, had coaches tell me, like, read Blue Ocean book, go to the Blue Ocean. And I have a different opinion on that. I feel like
What's blue ocean?
there's like this blue ocean theory, like go to an area where you don't have competition, like create something that's unique. And look, I'm not Elon, I'm not Bezos, so
Yeah.
I like going to the red ocean where the competition is, because then they need expertise. If it's a trademark attorney, there might be a couple in the city, and versus the PI, it's like you're tripping over them. So they need a lot of help. They need experts. So that's another reason why I like the space.
Yeah, I've never shied away. Look, there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when we started becoming really successful with our law firm, I started becoming more known on social media, right? I became more active, and I'd have people reaching out to me, and I'd have attorneys reaching out to me. Oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I would meet with them like all the time and just give away whatever information I had. Right. And, a couple people were like, aren't you worried about your competition? Right. Cause there was people locally, people like a couple blocks away, who reached out to me like, hey, what do you think about this and that? And I tell them everything we're doing successful. And it'd be like, you're competent, they're your competition, right? I was like,
Yeah.
dude, it's so dumb.
Like,
It's so dumb.
yeah, like who's actually going to deploy the capital and come in at 5 a.m. every single day? It's like some might, but most people won't.
Yeah. Yeah. On PI, what's like a minimum budget that someone ad spend that someone needs to have to be competitive?
Competitive. Okay. I would just say, if I didn't have at least, this is going to be wild to say this, but like, if I didn't have at least $50,000 a month to deploy, I would do the belly to belly stuff. I would call other PI shops, give me your turn downs, like try to build go to conferences, build referral relationships. I think that's what I would do. It's not exponential. It's very linear, belly to belly, shaking hands. But that's what I would do until I actually had the money to deploy. Because, I used to say this, like, let's say the CAC for an auto case is 3,000. Well, I'd want at least 30, 10 shots on it. So that, but I really think that you need even a little more than that, because of the learning period and, all this other stuff. So I would probably go 50, and that's anything. That's Facebook ads. I don't care if you're doing radio. I think 50 is kind of that number, at least what I see. Even I'm in Marion, Illinois. I probably wouldn't do Marion, Illinois. It's 40,000 people here unless I had 50K to deploy.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Do you guys get a lot of leads from attorneys that are just like trying to get into PI or just starting out? And then do you drop that on them? Like, hey, look.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We've had more. So like, there's two things. One, from the agency side, we don't offer exclusivity because it restricts our client's ability to grow and expand. Like, if I have a client, they want to expand, like, I want to help them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also have to have integrity, and like, who can I actually help? How many people in a market? And so you got to look at all these different things. And so where I'm going with this is, well, that means that I can't just send a super low offer and help everybody. I have to be more selective, because I can only take, 2 or 3 clients in a market.
Yeah.
Sometimes just one, but most of the times we can take 2 or 3, especially, New York and Houston and some of these big markets.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd probably, if you started taking on people who were like, look, I'll spend 10,000 a month, you'd probably, it would just fail, right? And then you end up getting a bad
Yeah.
rep for it.
Yeah. So there are people like that have brands. They're already doing grassroots or broadcast or radio or Facebook ads. They have that stuff. And like we could charge, say, 10K to help with the capture side, like LSA and some search, some SEO, maps and GEO stuff. But like if they don't have that, I mean it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What is your philosophy, kind of like what separates, say, elite PI firms from the average ones in marketing?
Operational excellence across the board. So I was just talking to a firm the other day. Their wanted case conversion percentage was 61%. And it's like the industry benchmarks 92%. And I did the math, and I'm not going to disclose who, but they would have signed another 6 cases had they just been average, not even good. And so it's one thing you spend all this money to get these leads, but it's another thing like you got to convert them, and then finally it's all relative to your fees. These pre-lit shops that never take stuff to trial, that just kind of maybe don't work them up and put the demands in properly. If their fees are too low, I really try to look at like a 3-to-1 ratio. So if it's going to cost you $3,000 to acquire a case, their fees need to be at least 9, and that's like minimum. Better if they were like 12, then hey, you're in good shape. But like if you're below a 9, you're in trouble.
Yeah. What do you see with like operational stuff that is like, below what you think it should be?
This is a little trickier since I'm not an attorney, but I do obsess. I'd probably look at my org chart every single day and obsess about this. And I'm 400 something episodes in our podcast. I always ask about this. So it comes down to leverage. And okay, so I think the best model is hybrid, pre-lit and lit. Like you got to hold the insurance company's feet to the fire sometimes. You're going to get lowballed otherwise. You got to be willing to go the distance. So on the pre-lit side, that means case managers with good communication, probably, handling anywhere from 75 to 120 based upon the type of firm you are. If maybe there's these like force multipliers, right? That you can, you get more pre-lit paralegals and pre-lit attorneys and things like that, and lien specialists, but like really case manager model with some pre-lit attorneys. But then you have a case committee that if they're not getting the number, I call it the Mendoza line, baseball. If you're not getting this number, like we're going to trial, we're filing. And then that is litigation attorney, trial attorney, litigation paralegal, and like, be willing to go the extra mile. So, case managers, you're 60 to 100K, and you could do some nearshore stuff to help in some of these areas. Paralegals are actually a little less than case managers. So maybe 50 to 90. And pre-lit attorneys, you're right now 120 with some OTE. Then you get into the other side, and then it's like, well, it's like one of those value things. Well, like, what are they worth? Because you get a great trial attorney, I mean, you could be really spending a fortune, but if you're going to spend that much, they're most of the time worth it. There's a lot of things. Even Up just launched their pre-litigation as a service model using AI. There's also some other companies in the space that, Claude just came out with their legal plugin, and I don't know how that's going to impact things, but those are just some of the things. I know I rambled on, but about how I think about delivery.
Yeah. Yeah. how much are you guys getting your hands dirty with law firms in regards to like coaching on some of these things?
And honestly, not enough. And I'm writing a book right now on intake, and I feel I have enough expertise to speak on that and actually be and like say, hey, these are the benchmarks. This is where you have room to improve. Because after thousands of calls and hundreds of law firms, I like and I'm speaking to the intake managers, but I'm still not there on the delivery side. I want to be. I want to say like, hey, your reviews are terrible. Why not hire a case manager to improve the communication, the client service? But like, I just don't feel like I can do that just yet. Yeah, so not enough. With some of the firms I'm really close with, I will have that candid conversation, but then others, it's a challenge, right? Like I can do it, and even my top account managers, like most of them aren't speaking that far in the value chain. Like
Yeah.
my good ones will talk about intake, but like they're not talking about the hiring, comp bands, delivery, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a unique situation when I meet with. Now, I'm not meeting with our clients very often. It's usually our account managers or my partner. But I'm not an attorney. My wife is. Her and I built our practice. So
Mhm.
I have all of that experience. And I've set up the systems for operations. But you asked me to draft a last will and testament, dude, I'm gonna stare at you like a fucking
Yeah.
blank wall. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely, and I think that's probably the difference between you and I in that sense. I can be a little bit more aggressive because like, okay, we do have a law firm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're writing a book on intake right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Personal injury specifically
Yeah.
intake. I had Vanessa Soto was one of the intake managers for Lerner and Rowe for 13, 14 years. It's kind of riding side by side with me writing it.
That's killer. That's killer. Yeah. This is getting published here in a couple days. The closing argument. I wrote one on intake and consultations. Now it's mostly,
Amazing.
yeah,
Great.
it's more on like the sales end and that type of thing. A little bit different than PI, but
What a grind. I'm like 7, 8 months in. What was can you tell me about that? I'd love to hear. Did you
well,
block out?
when we first started the marketing company, um, my partner was like, because here I kept meeting with attorneys, and and most of it really revolved around intake and sales. That's really what it was. And so like Ryan, he handles all the delivery for the marketing company, right? I'm not a Google Ads expert. I know enough, right? But you asked me to get in and manage your campaign. I'm going to do a terrible job. He knows, right? So I'm kind of the business development. He does that. And so he would be listening to calls, right? We get a client complains, oh, the leads are shit, right? So he then starts listening to calls. He finds out, okay, they missed, they had 10 calls yesterday. They missed 7 of them. And then he's listening to the intake, and the intake is like talking to like some grouchy paralegal who doesn't even want to be answering the phone, right? And so then he's like, hey, you need to talk to Joe. So then he sets me up, right, with a call with them, and we're doing this just like over and over. So I decided to spend a weekend and just film a course, several courses, a course on intake, and a course on sales. So 2 weekends I came into the office, all day long and just recorded different segments. And a lot of it was what we teach our intake and sales people here at our law firm. So it was pretty easy for me to do it, but it took a while. And then when I wrote the book, it was pretty easy for me because I really just exported those transcripts, and I was like, okay, now give me, right, plug into AI, give me an outline, right? So then I just start kind of piecing together, each chapter kind of flows. It gives like a real life example of something that happened, and then okay, now this is what we did to fix it, and yeah. So the whole process took probably of writing the book maybe 3 months. What's taking longer is the fucking audio. I'm still not done with that yet. I'm on like.
See, I always hired one of the voiceover people.
I thought about doing it, man, but
it's better if you do it. It's yours.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a grind. I have to like set aside time and the software. You have to have specific software for it. It is a whole thing. I'm probably like a third of the way through the audio, but yeah, it's you've written other books too, no?
Yeah, I wrote a book on niching. So, but neither one of those, I did the audio. We hired, someone to do the audio. I just think I've been doing this our podcast for 6 years. And when I do the voiceovers, it's like me cursing and then like apologizing to the editors, like after I say the same fucking sentence like 4 times and I keep messing it up. And I just think about doing an audiobook. I'm just like, I'm just not going to do
it. Yeah. That's been a little bit of the struggle for sure. It's like replaying the same thing, and then I'll curse, and then half the time I'm like, fuck it, I'm just leaving it in. So we'll see how it turns out. It should be good.
Can I tell you a funny story? So my first book, The Niching Up, I contacted Samuel L. Jackson's agent and almost had a deal to have him do the audio of my book. And I was like,
Samuel L. Jackson, get out of here.
No, I promise you. Went back and forth a few times.
It cost you $10 million.
It was going to be up there. It was definitely 7 figures. Didn't get the deal done, but like my idea was like, well, maybe his voice is so distinctive that it might help me from the marketing side. If my book had a bigger TAM, it's niching up. It's really just relevant to business owners. You see all these books that go into Barnes and stuff. It's all motivational. Can't hurt me, David Goggins, and be a winner and have routines and habits. And like all those books are the ones that appeal to that big TAM. It's like the books that are going to be in Barnes isn't going to be, something like niching up. It's just too narrow.
Yeah. What ultimately made it fall through? Was it how much he was going to charge?
No, we were going to pay the right dollars. He just didn't want to do it. He wanted to, his image, whatever. I know he's in Capital One and all these other things, but he just didn't want to do it. So, is what it is. So yeah, saved me $1 million, but or more than that. But yeah, so, it's interesting. I did this big product, like a big book launch, and I got second on the Wall Street Journal for total sales that week. I got second, and it was Matthew Perry, his book that went out. It was the same time, and I was like, he barely got me. But yeah, it's tough to write a book.
It is, isn't it? How did you promote that book?
That was the biggest reason why it sold so many my strategy is, first I pumped Amazon ads to capacity. But the other thing that I did was I contacted anyone I knew that had an email list and paid for sponsored distributions on their email list for like a ton of money, a couple $100,000. And launch, just had a massive launch, sold a ton. And that's what I did. I piggybacked off email lists, and then I just pumped Amazon ads.
Yeah. When did those books launch?
Man, I gotta look it up. Years now. Let's see here. The Niching Up book was 2023. I guess not too long ago. It seems ages ago. And then the last one I believe was in just a couple of years ago.
Okay. Did you notice like your business take off more after launching them?
The niching book, not really. It's more not really. It just wasn't too, I could have done like a course back end stuff, but the other book I did, personal injury lawyer marketing. So there's multiple tactics here. First, the name of the book helps from a keyword and topic search. So if you type in personal injury lawyer marketing, I'm like 1 or 2 in the results and knowledge panel. In the book has quotes to podcast episodes. So it has a QR code that goes, so it feeds the podcast. And we mail anybody that contacts us that's going to have a consult, we mail the book to. And so like it does have an impact.
Anyone who has a consult, you mail it to. No shit.
Yep. Anybody, we mail them, and it's a nice like presentation too. And because like we know our numbers really well, like what a retainer's LTV is and stuff. And it's worth it. So we use it a lot in the marketing. I gave it away at our first conference. What else? Yeah. So definitely. And I still run Amazon ads to it because I'm willing to lose a little bit of money on Amazon ads, but like I figure anybody that buys it could be a potential prospect. So, so I'm, 6,000 to 8,000 a month on that, but it's tremendous benefit on the marketing side for that book specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking about us including it in our welcome pack for all of our new clients, but now you got me thinking about consultations.
Yeah. We got a pretty big sales team. We got 23, 24 people. And so we got a sales enablement, that builds our prospecting list. And then we have a team of an outbound team. So like we'll mail it to people in advance and then call. And it's some people like Scorpion used to do like cookies and stuff, but we just try to do more industry specific content. And so we'll mail that sometimes in advance. We have different tiers. So like at the top tiers, like our Dream 100, like we'll do a custom research them, and what are they into and give them a custom gift. In the middle tier, which is the majority of people will send the book out to. And then the bottom tier, which is super small firms, solos, we'll just do like light print stuff, like more mass mailer.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we treat it.
Yeah. How many, so you got 20 some sales reps, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. How many leads you guys getting?
I don't know how many leads exactly, but we've signed, we've only had 1 month where we've signed less than 10 new retainers. Mm-hmm. We're signing 10 to 15 new clients a month. So, decent amount of leads. I don't know the exact amount, but it's a lot because we spend 25% of our top line on marketing sales, including labor. And so we'll do, I don't know, let's just say right now we're on we're on track for about 42. So whatever that is, I mean, we'll spend $8 to $10 million on marketing and sales. So
that 25% includes the sales commissions and salary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think goes directly to what percentage you think goes directly to marketing?
Probably, I wish I had that for you. I'd say 15%.
Yeah.
Probably.
We're doing 20% right now. I'd like to get it. We'll get it down to 15% eventually, but we're doing 20%. We're still relatively new.
Our big hit, which it's hard to quantify, was when we started doing a conference. We lose money or get close to break even on our big conference, and their conference costs about $2 million to put on.
Yours does?
Mm-hmm.
And you about break even on it?
Mm-hmm. The first year we lost $500,000 or so, but now it's right around break even. It might make a little bit, but I'm saying like sponsorships and ticket sales, but then like you get the retainers and stuff later. So it makes money, but it's hard to like, did you find them at the conference? Like, or did the attributions is so murky that it's hard to like directly attribute like, oh, they went to the conference, so they bought a retainer. Like, nah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to measure that. So why do you do them?
I mean, okay, so there's a lot of things here. About the year before, we sent our team to like 39 events. We bought a booth, we did all this, and it's like you're going to somebody else's party, right? You're paying for an overpriced booth, you don't control who attends. Most of them aren't well done. Most of them's pay to play to speak. And it's just like we totaled all that up, 39 events, you spend 2 or 3 people, the airfare, the tickets, it's a shit ton of money. And we're like, you know what? We'll invite people to our party, and we'll invite who we want to work with, and we'll control the speakers, and it gives us an authority perspective. It gives us something to promote all year. And look, I went in, I didn't have, $2 million to set aside just for extra money to go through a conference, but it was like, all right, we're doing this. Let's sell sponsorships and tickets and figure it out. And it was freaking hard.
Yeah.
But we did it. And now the next year, the second year is easier than the first. The third year is easier than the second.
How many years you been doing it?
Just this is our third.
Third. That first year probably was a shit show, huh?
Oh, it was awful. Very stressful.
Yeah.
Very
stressful. It's like a whole getting that set up is like a whole business in itself.
Mm-hmm. It is.
How much time did you guys give yourself to plan for it?
I mean, we had a full, I can tell you so much money we burnt. I mean, we, the first thing I thought was, hey, let's do it because I live close to St. Louis. I'm like, let's do it in St. Louis. And we picked this place called the Ameristar. And I hadn't been there for several years, but I loved the Ameristar. I always thought it was nice. I went there after we already paid our down payment of $75,000. And it was so freaking smoky and shit. Like they just didn't update it. And I'm like, we're not having it here. I'm like, I don't care that I paid $75,000. So we pulled out. They wouldn't give us our money back. So that just lit on fire. And then we moved to so I literally I was like, you know what? If we're going big. If we're going to freaking do this, I Googled top resorts for a conference, and Phoenician was like number 2. I went there and I was like, oh yeah, this is legit. And we booked it. And now I'm like, okay, you start doing the math and it's like, I gotta get people here. So I was like, how the hell am I going to get people? Because there's a conference every week in legal. So I contacted I was like, what celebrities come to the Phoenician? It's a 5-star. It's a nice golf course. They're like, oh, David Spade. He loves the spa. Like, can you put me in touch with his agent? Contact Dave Spade. He's our comedian. Night 1. So put him on the stage. Like, oh, you know what? Michael Phelps plays golf here all the time. He lives about 10 minutes away. Can I get his agent? It's Phelps' agent. It's a different thing to ask. Like, hey, you want to speak? And it's drop my kids off at school, go and speak. Then have to fly over to freaking New York, or whatever. So that year 1, we had Phelps and Spade, and it was a hit. And then we booked that year Nikki Glazer right around before she blew up.
Oh, I love her. So you got her on the cheap.
Got her on the cheap. So then we had Nikki. And then what happened was, if you're in Vegas, David and Nikki are best friends. They have the same agent. So now David told them that we treated him really well. Nikki told them we treated really well. Now the comedians want to come. So now we can kind of, you know, get a good comedian for our event. But I mean, we needed David Spade and Phelps year one.
Is that
Like
right?
we it's so hard to sell tickets and kind of break in.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's all over the place. You see conference, conference,
yeah,
conference.
my biggest piece of advice, at least in legal and certainly the PI, I don't know the other space, is like, don't do them in October, September. That's when ours is, October. Like, that's the worst. Like, do them Q1. Do them Q1. Do it a play. It's snow on the ground everywhere. Go to Miami. Give them a reason to go to Miami. But yeah, so that's what we did, and it was a haul, but we got it done.
How many people do you have working on that first event? Were they all employees of yours?
No. We outsourced there's a name for this, but it's like the integration, the lighting, the sound, the stage. We outsourced that. We're still using the same company actually today. We had one person kind of quarterback the planning, the negotiations with the hotels, and a vendor. Of course, my whole marketing team, sales teams, everybody involved, all hands on deck to try to sell tickets, account managers. Year two, we had a dedicated person for sponsorships, I think, that just sold sponsorships all year. And now this year we have an ops person that's logistics, and then we have a ticket sales, sponsorship sales, and then we have like a leader. So we got 4 people now. But it's
major. It's a major thing.
It is a major thing. Michael Mogul from Chris, we're kind of buddies, text buddies. We had like 3 months to go, and I was like, man, I'm gonna lose. I was like, dude, you got to give me like how we sell tickets. Like, give me the sauce. Like, what do you do? And he gave me some good tips and really helped me get that. I owe him for that first one big time.
What were the tips?
I mean, some of the stuff they've shared is like, you have to have a party. It has to be the tier 1 location. The location needs to be somewhere that people want to go, no matter if there's a conference or not. You don't want it in Vegas because you can't. It's like herding cats because there's too many distractions. You got to use different giveaways and scarcity types of things on the further you're out. You got to like, hey, get your hotel, get a spa pass, get these other things, the VIP seat with, meet and greet Nikki, and some things like that. I'm trying to think about what else. Just messaging and, how to eliminate friction in the sales process. The biggest thing is just the venue, the talent, and just putting enough ad dollars behind it to really get people there. But like after you get them there year 1, people talk about PimCon year 2, and like all these people have FOMO, and it's so easy year 2. And then you already have your sponsorships lined up. It's not like trying to fill them throughout the whole year. Like you can sell them all. Like the booths we sold out like the first month or 2. Wow. And then that provides you all the capital to go deploy on the ads and all the other stuff. But like year 1, it's like, that's a straight burn. So really that first year you get through that,
was it a burn because you weren't getting sponsors, or it was tough to get them? Or
well, it's just like, it's a roll of the dice for the sponsors because you're new. They don't know how many attendees are there. They're all the sophisticated ones are concerned about buyer units, like how many individual law firms are there versus attorneys versus vendors. That's another thing. It's like maximizing the sponsorships. I'll tell you a big mistake we did year 2 was we thought it'd be cool to have, breakfast outside and something this, and like we had a nice spot for it. We're thinking, oh yeah, that's a cool. But what we didn't think about was, okay, by not having it inside, you eliminate foot traffic to the sponsors because the where they eat is past all the booths. So we got a lot of heat from our sponsors about that and about that decision. And it's like, hey, dueling, like I get it. Like you bought an expensive booth. So then you got to think about tactics there and just all those things. And another mistake I wish I would have never done, but we have an exclusivity agreement. And it's like,
With who?
well, I don't want to disclose, but it creates issues with people that want to sponsor and then relationships and in terms of a vendor of a sponsorship from a vendor perspective.
Yep.
Um, because a lot of these are venture backed and have the money and they're like, hey, we'll give you a number that you normally wouldn't get, but we want exclusivity. And you're like, okay. Um, yeah. So like all that, it's, and also the type of event that we did is we did main stage speaker because my thought was I didn't want breakout sessions because I want a full room. If I'm going to invite Morris Bart, I don't want him speaking to 50 people. I want 500. And but if you did breakouts, you can sell all those breakout sponsorships. You can get way more speakers that promote the event. It's just, but it comes with you could sell the speaker slots, but we didn't do any of that. And I think it made it a good conference. It just took a lot of money out of my pocket, which is more risk and stress.
Did you do the breakouts year 2? And no?
No, still haven't done any of the pay to play speaking, no breakouts. I really like the main stage.
Yeah.
But I mean, like some of these trade shows where it's just, or big events, are just, they got, 10 tracks that you can pick from and their little room, classroom, maybe 30, 40 people in there, but that guy spent $15K to speak. It appeals a different type of content, because then you can get broader with your content. Some people want marketing, some want intake, some want trial, but we just made a decision to just go straight marketing. So that narrows the TAM too of who I can invite, but all those things, but make it good, right? It's like you're only going to get this here, but it makes it harder to sell tickets.
Yeah. How many tickets you get sold the first one?
First one, I believe, was around 400. Second year is 450. We'll do about 500. We talked about going nuts and stretching ourselves to, 800 or 1,000. But then it's like the cost, at least at the Phoenician, double, triple. And then it's like, it kind of changes what you can do from a presentation, like a room. And I just think the sweet spot is around 500-600, at least at this venue. At other venues, it could support more. And now we're kind of known having it there. So it's kind of like, and people really like that spot. I like it because when you come in, they have this big bar and everybody hangs out there. On the left side is you go down an escalator is the event, but all the food is on the right side of the bar. So so you have to constantly walk by this middle area, and it really makes networking easy, and people like that about it. Just all these little things kind of add up.
What do you think about these guys, these big events, like 10, 15,000 people? Is that like, what the fuck?
I mean, I talked to Mogul when he did that one in Mercedes-Benz. They had like 8,000. He about killed his ass. I'm not kidding. He had to take he was all like, he had some health stuff.
For real.
Yeah. I think it's very hard.
Yeah, my business partner, that's like in our plans, or it's more in his plans for us to do it conference eventually.
If I went back and I could do it over again, I would do like a 100, 200 person event, get it going, have the site built, get my feet wet, and then I would do like the 500 or 1,000. Not just go straight 500,000 out of the gate. It worked, but I think that would be a much better approach. Like do a nice, you can be more selective who's going to be there, 200 people, more intimate. like really cool. You could still have, a big speaker for them, but the 500 to 1,000 it's just hard.
Yeah, it's a lot. It makes sense to go on a gradient doing it. When did you guys start Rankings.io? What
It
year?
was 2013.
13.
Yeah.
And then the first conference wasn't until what, 2023?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020. Let's see here. 24.
2024. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've been around for a little while before you did even.
Yeah. Well, I also had 300 plus episodes on my podcast speaking to these guys. So, when I went out to go get some of these big time speakers, these big PI attorneys, I already had like a relationship where I could ask them.
Yeah. Yeah. When did you start the podcast?
So I've done it for 6 years. So that was like 2020, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
When you started Rankings.io, you have a partner? Is it just you? Was it just you?
I got really lucky there. One of my best friends, I love this dude, Jason Aiken. Known him my whole life. Thank God that me and him didn't go into partnership. We had it on the table, but he got hired by a big bank and he's still working at it today, making a boatload of money, but he doesn't have the same. I love my guy Aiken, but he doesn't have the same work ethic I do. I think we would have butt heads. And I think if he's being honest, he'd say the same thing.
It's a lot, dude. It's a lot making a business successful. I think the estimation of effort that people have is well below what it really takes.
Yeah. Ton of effort.
When did you guys start like really taking off, or has it kind of been gradual?
We've grown every year in business. We always grew at a steady pace, but the first really breakthrough year was 2024 when we expanded our sales team. We went from what I tried in, I think 2023 was I tried to outsource outbound sales. I used a couple companies and I didn't just dip my toe. I'm like, give me 8 reps, and eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just bringing all this in house. And I had this $50,000 a month budget already carved out. So I just used it to take it in house. And that year, I think our best year, we did like 7 million in new ARR. That first year we did 16 mil in new ARR.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that was in 2024. So you were outsourcing sales?
It wasn't until, like I said, like 2023, 2024, we always had like one guy or two. And then I did a bunch of sales. Yeah. But about that point, I'm like, we were doing all the inbound stuff, social, Google ads. Not to say we couldn't put more there. We can. But I really had a lot of conviction to try to do outbound and just constantly be hunting our target prospect. And so I was like, well, we're going to commit to this. And we couldn't really get it to work up to the degree that we wanted through outsourcing. So we eventually brought it in.
Wow. So you just hired, so you went from how many in-house to how many did you have in-house before you went?
I think I had 2 in-house and we like immediately were up to like 12. And this was by design. So
dude, I love you. You go all in. I love it.
I hired a recruiter that specialized in sales hires. And my scorecard was, we'll bring a team. Like, I want a leader that already knows like who's following him. Like they're such a good leader that the salespeople want to follow him. I don't want to hire just a director, just a VP. I want him to bring a team. So that's what happened. Like,
so this guy, the recruiter found a guy who already had his own team.
He didn't have a big team, but I knew he could bring start to bring the pieces in immediately. So like
Yeah.
his best friend was the head of outbound at a company. You know, he had a couple people to his organization he wanted to take. Okay, so let's just say that he comes with 3 plus his buddy, and then his buddy has 2 or 3. You know, they're the top people there, and then you start to hire these reps, and they know somebody we should bring, and before you know it, you've got a team of 8 to 10. Not just they're the premium of the premium, like presidents clubs, the killers, because it's all variable compensation. Like they want to hit these quotas. They're like, well, so I'd say one of my biggest piece of advice is I tell my friends is like, look, if you're going to build an outbound sales team, don't just go hire the guy and not give them budget. Like give them the budget to bring the team in that's going to help you hit these goals. And that's what we did.
Huh. You got me thinking. We got a killer sales rep. She's the only one. I mean, my partner and I, we've been doing it too, but mostly it's her, and she's amazing.
You know, we had a killer of killers. Love the guy this day. Didn't believe in outbound, right?
So when
And
you say outbound, are you talking about cold calling? Yeah.
cold call, cold email, getting belly to belly, going to hunt. You know, we have actually an outbound team of BDRs and we have MDRs. Anybody that engages on our stuff, like an ebook download or whatever we'll call, or certainly contact form. But BDRs are just straight cold. But yeah, it's tricky, like, because some people just don't think outbound works, and it's hard to get those individuals, and like people that aren't used to doing 50 to 100 dials a day. Like you got to be in that. Like it's just hard to train somebody like that hasn't done that. Like, you've been checking your emails and closing certain amount of quota, but now you know what? I want you to also do 100 dials a day. Like, not very many people are going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we for our law firm, our rep, well, we can't do cold calling, right? For our law firm.
Right. Yeah.
Not allowed to.
Well,
what?
You could call all the other firms to refer you.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's different, right?
Yeah.
We can't just call someone on, Fifth
Oh,
Street
yeah,
and be like,
consumer,
hey, you want an estate plan?
Right.
But our sales reps have to make 225 outbound calls a week, and they're doing
That's pretty healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy when they're doing 5 to 8 20 to 40 minute sales calls a day, right? So it's like throughout the day they're doing the consultations, and as soon as they're done with that consultation, they're fucking dialing the phone to meet their numbers. And it's not for like when I talk to other attorneys and I tell them these, like, hey, this is what we do, they're always like, what are you, oh my God, they're making that many calls. But yeah, with cold calling, it has to be way more even than that. So these guys that came in, they were used to doing outbound.
They were already the president's clubs.
Yeah.
Of these organizations. Like I think you'll see like these power dialers and number quotas 100, 120, but we only require ours to do 50 a day. We want 50 quality dials. Like research the prospect a little bit more, and not just on a super power dialer. It's going to ring to the next, give a little bit more personalization because it's you versus the AI. Because I can have an AI power dial and genericify the outbound, but like I'm giving you the 50 to actually be a human and like learn something about this person before you call them.
Yeah. I've never done. Have you ever done outbound?
I've never. So I did. I worked at West Telecommunications selling AT&T in college.
Selling what?
Awful. AT&T.
Okay.
It was awful. Got told F you a million times. Uh,
What's scarier for you? Outbound calling or door-to-door knocking? Door-to-door sales.
Man, both of those are terrible. I don't want to do either one of those. I'll tell you, I my mom, when I was 14, because we didn't have a lot of money, she took me to this antique dealer. And I'm like in my dress clothes, like thinking I'm going to the mall after this to go apply at like the Buckle or some shit. And she's like, "Oh, I know this guy." And they had a semi truck pulled up to their fence, and he's like, I go up to him, "Sir, are you looking for people?" He's like, "Oh, you're hired." And I'm like, and so I started unloading a semi truck of this like antique furniture and shit. And I worked there for like 3 years because people tipped. So you have to bust your ass and load their car, but they'd give you a 5 or a 20 on top of your, and that
That's
was
hard.
good money.
That's hard work.
And my sister, 2 years younger than me, gets a job at this telecommunications. And she's like smashing everybody. And I'm like, she's in the AC. And I'm like,
She's making way more money than
way
you,
more
right?
money than me. And I'm like, if I can just do a little bit, just one sale an hour. And that's what happened. I went and I was like, and that's what happened. Like, and after busting my ass, I'm like, you can tell me to fuck off. Like, I'll sit in the AC and I'll call the next person. And that's what I did for a little bit before I started then doing bartending and waiting tables, making a little bit more money doing that.
Yeah, dude. I still think even with even with the advent of AI, I still think that sales is going to continue to be the most secure profession that there is.
Yeah. It's a relationship, the trust. Yeah, I agree.
Do you think AI will ever get to the point where it's able to do a really good sales call?
Man, I don't know. It's a tough question. I'll tell you, it's like some of the things I think about is like the context window and like how they're expanding that. Like I'll forget somebody I talked to, like whatever
Yeah.
nuance, but like the AI won't.
Yeah.
So then I think about, well,
It's like, oh, your kid likes blue shoes. It's like fucking thing
yeah,
remembering it 10 years later.
could match their tone, their pacing. So I think maybe eventually, I don't think it's there yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, there's like on the mass volume firms in certain practice areas, you could, they can take 100 calls at once instead of having to staff all those bodies, the parallel dialers and stuff. But yeah, I think we're a little ways off for that.
Yeah. It's probably coming though. I think it'll be good enough for intake. Yeah. So what's the plan with what's the long-term plan with rankings?
Man, I got a big vision. Right now we got an LOI out for a company that does video production, some social stuff. So that's hopefully that goes through and that'll expand our capabilities on the video side, which helps us on social and programmatic. I'm gonna spin out PIM, which is my conference and podcast, into a media company to have its own president, managed by P&L, and get more media. And that'll be like some B2B marketing. And then I actually have an ABS actually that I was approved May 5th in Arizona. So we'll have that side too. I exited all my Arizona PI relationships. So we'll kind of be practicing what we preach, get to test things, and that'll help me be a better advisor to the clients. But yeah, I do a lot of venture and stuff in the legal space. So yeah, I just kind of want to keep expanding in this area. I like what I do. And like I said, I live in Murfreesboro, Illinois, and the house is paid off, cars are paid off, so we're pretty good.
Fuck, dude, it doesn't end, does it?
Mm-mm. I love it though. I love the
Same.
game. Love it.
Yeah.
I used to be, like I call myself a bro nerd because I played sports but I got like my Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons friends too. but I can't hardly watch a sports game. I'd rather watch a Hermosi YouTube video, and it's just a different type of game that I enjoy.
Yeah, dude, I have two golden retrievers, and every night I have to sit and I have to play ball with them, right? And I got to exercise their ass. It's like 9 o'clock at night, right? I'm at the office until 8:30. I'm here from 9 to 8:30 almost every day. And the only reason I go home when I go home is right to see my daughter. She gets done with volleyball usually around 9, and to exercise these fucking dogs. And I sit on the couch and throw the ball for them, and I watch TV. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be having the TV on.
Oh, I would be like, dude, I would have a crazy ass beard. I would be looking like a mess, like sleeping in the office floor. Like if I didn't have that, my kid's in the he's 4 doing the T-ball soccer thing right now. So
How old?
4.
You just have one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Okay. Man, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. 95% better, 5% worse.
Yeah, we have a 14-year-old daughter who is hell bent on playing Division I volleyball. She is like, there's no doubt in her mind that she's going to be. And so it's like, dude, she's balls to the wall. We're at all these tournaments. Like, we don't take vacations now. Vacations are volleyball tournaments. Yeah, but you know what? I remember I woke up at we had to get up at like 5 a.m. in Orlando a few weeks ago to be at the courts. And I was like so tired. It was 3 day, it's 3 day tournament. It was the last day. I was just like so tired. And then I kind of just remind myself, like, you know what? This is only going to go on for a couple more years, and then I'm going to miss the shit out of this. So, yeah, I remember when she was 4 years old, she started in gymnastics, and it just gets better. It gets better and better. It really does.
My kid is like, see, my wife played college softball too. She's like really big athlete, and so like we both did the sports thing, and my son is like, every kid's like standing in their spot and T-ball, and like my kid's he's the wild one, just running around going crazy, and it's like pay attention, like. But then he gets up at the plate, and like these kids are like dribbling it off the thing, and he just rips it. You know what I'm just crushes it, and it's like, if only I could get him to listen and pay attention in the field.
Dude, he's young though. 4 is
Yeah.
young. 4 is young. What'd you play? What sports?
Basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball, I was in my trim days, but I was a point guard.
Okay. That was the one sport I could never get into. My brother's like 6'5". He was real good at basketball. I was all ice hockey, baseball, and football. That was what I did.
Nice.
Yeah. She definitely takes after me. My wife's not super athletic, but your wife played college softball, huh?
Oh yeah, it's super competitive. Even me and her, it's like weird.
You guys are competitive with each other now?
Oh yes, it's
like, what kind of stuff?
Oh, it's so ignorant. It could be literally anything. Like, we were playing catch the other day, just throwing a baseball around, actually throwing a softball around. And I like throw it a little too hard just to kind of juice her a little bit. Because she was a softball pitcher. So then, okay, we're not throwing it overhand. And it just gives me the freaking underhand, burner. And it's like, people watch this. It's like, what are they doing? Like, these guys are idiots. But
you like it?
It's fun.
You like that she's competitive?
Yeah, I do. I really do.
Yeah. My wife is not competitive at all. She didn't play sports, and I wish she was a little more competitive. Like, my daughter and I will go back and forth at each other a little bit. My wife's just like, doesn't want anything to do with it.
I like that. So she's had coaches and I've had coaches, and like my coaches talk to me like I was a dog. And
my daughter likes that.
See, I like it too. But I have to like take a step back. But like my wife, she's very on the same page. And most of the time like the other parents at least are not. They're more like, oh, come, blah blah, blah. And so I like that. I think that'd be good that we're aligned, kind of.
Yeah,
I think we could butt heads there if we weren't. Um, but it's been fun.
dude, it's great. So you do any gymnastics?
No, so
Dude, get them into it.
yeah.
At the age he's at right now, so our daughter got involved in gymnastics at 3, and she was a competitive gymnast until she was, I guess, 11, 10 and a half, 11. And she decided she didn't want to do it anymore. And so she went into volleyball. She went right into volleyball, and she was instantly by far the best athlete out there. And reflecting on it, right, especially from the young age that she started, the amount of like the body coordination and awareness that you learn by doing gymnastics at a young age, like puts you light years ahead of the other kids. So even if he only does it for like 2 or 3 years, right, and just like little rec classes or whatever that they have, can't recommend it enough.
Nice. Definitely take that in mind.
Yeah.
I think my wife, I think she took gymnastics too. I need to do that. Like my son, he needs a coach, like somebody to like, because he just doesn't listen at all right now.
Are you guys there the whole time though? So like,
yeah,
that could be it, right?
mm-hmm.
You leave him alone, he might can't act up without my parents there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because when she was in gymnastics, she was a little wild too, but they had practice 4 days a week, starting at like 6 years. I think it was like 6 years old. It was practice 4 days a week for anywhere from 3 to 4 hours each practice. And I was like, I'm not sitting there. I'll come watch the last half hour, but I'm not sitting there for 3, 4 hours watching your practice. But I'll tell you what, it's the worst thing in the world to watch a competition, a gymnastics competition. It's all day long, right? 8 hours you're there, and they compete 4 events, right? And the longest event is 1 minute in length. The longest event. The others, right? The vault is literally like 5 seconds long, right? The bars are 15 seconds. The beam is probably 30 seconds. Dude, so all day long to see, and you only get to go once, right? You go once, you get your score. That's it, dude. It was like, fucking, when she got into volleyball, we were like ecstatic. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You guys gonna have more?
Nah, she's my wife has hemophilia. It's like the bleeding disorder. So women are carriers and men have a 50-50 shot to get it. And Gray, my son, didn't get it. So we're like, because that leads all, daily shots and all these things. And it's just like we rolled the dice and got lucky. So we're just like, just one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, we were one and done. Dude, she was enough. Dude, she's a maniac.
Yeah, it's a ton. But I'm also like, I'm 44. So it's like, I could have another one. I still got the energy, but it would be, man, I'm just trying to think, if I had another kiddo, 46, it'd be 18. I'd be an old dad.
Yeah, I'm 44 too. How old's your wife?
She is, let's see here. She's 35.
Ah, you ain't young.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. We started dating when she was 28.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife is 51 next week, so I went older.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, man, I love what you're doing. You're killing it.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're still new. We're only a year old. But we got big plans.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we have our old directory that we're going to launch here actually in the next couple of days. way better than what these other platforms have out there. So
nice.
Yeah, dude, we're pumped. We're pumped about it. Yeah, dude, love what you're doing. Congrats. Right.
Thank you. Great
Sounds
meeting
like,
you.
yeah, like
Really enjoyed this. This was awesome. Enjoyed the
good,
combo.
good. Yeah. We will be where you are someday. And then at that point, you're going to be fucking way bigger. So I'll have to just keep chasing you.
Let me know anytime you want to chop it up. Anything, feel free. Love to. Love
Dude,
talking biz. Yeah,
appreciate it. Likewise. Cool. Well, we'll jump off and have a good day, everyone.
awesome. Want to make sure.